Blue Apron, take back dinner. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Liars Club. I'm Felicia Michaels.
And I'm Jessica Wellington.
And what we do here at the Liars Club is we have two of our comedy pals come on. We ask them to tell two stories. One is the truth, one is a lie. We try to figure it out which one is the lie, along with our streaming audience that is playing with us live. And by the way, we do go live Mondays at 4:30 here at the YouTube Comedy Store page, and also Fridays at 8:30 mostly. So there you go. To my right, we have the lovely Austin Walker. He is our on-air producer. He will be fielding questions today. If you're streaming and playing along live, you can shoot a question to him and he'll relay it. And in the booth is Mr. Michael Evans. Put yourself on camera, smile at the audience. There we go. Yay! And the most important piece of information is this podcast is brought to you by Blue Apron. Hey, if you ever wanted to try a food delivery service, now is the time. If you peek around Blue Apron, you think you're going to try it. If you put liars into the code box, you get what, Austin?
$30 off.
There we go.
And we know that for a fact.
Take back dinner, baby.
Only took us 3 months to get enough energy to go look at the email, but there you go. But why don't you give it a try? You never know. Welcome to the show, guys. Would you please introduce our guests?
I'd love to. Over here we have, this gentleman is he's responsible for getting me here into the Comedy Store, so he has my heart. I love this guy so much. He also has a Writers Guild of America award for television.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I lost, but I got nominated.
You got nominated.
I got
nominated. Still counts.
I lost to the reboot of Will and Grace, but you know.
That seems unfair, but still.
Yeah. He's a writer on the was a writer on the Carmichael Show, and this is Willie Hunter.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Willie Hunter.
Thank you.
Willie.
So glad he's here. I'm so
Okay.
excited. And this next gentleman, he is hailing from New York City. You may have seen him on Boardwalk Empire, Girls, Blue Bloods. He also has a comedy special that is out right now that it was #1 for 2 days, and we want to keep that going. It's on iTunes. It's called Thug Thug Jew.
Thug Jew. That's the title.
And this is something I didn't know, is that he's an award-winning opera singer.
Back in the day, that was my gig. Yeah, in my youth. In my youth.
Really?
I can
hear it.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. Soprano.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that.
And I'm hoping
Castrato.
I hope I'm going to get this right.
Oh, okay. All right, my favorite type.
I hope I'm going to get this right, but his name is Ethan Herschenfeld.
Oh, you
Herschenfeld.
got so close for a while there.
Herschenfeld.
It's a name that's long enough that you can say for a while
She's
it was going like this.
only been practicing it for 20 minutes. Herschenfeld.
That's close enough. We don't have to. It's close. Herschenfeld.
So what character did you play on Boardwalk Empire?
I was Pinky Rabinowitz, and the last few episodes, I was the guy. No, you can't do a spoiler 6 years after it came out, but I took over Atlantic City. The whole thing was who's going to take over. It was
Really?
me. Thank you.
Yeah.
So if you need anything in Atlantic City, like cheap hookers or cheap drugs, that's all they have there now.
Okay.
Or maybe some chips at the casino. Talk to me.
Wonderful. Well, welcome to the show.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
We're glad that you're here. So what we do is, so we'll tell our two stories, but we're going to rotate it around. So Willie will start the story, and then you'll do a story, and then Willie start the story, then you'll do a story. Okay. We will interrupt and ask questions if we're not understanding.
We interrogate the fuck out of you.
Wow.
But we're trying to be polite about it.
Yeah, I didn't know about
Her, not so much.
I actually wasn't briefed about the interrogation part, so I'm going to go. But you guys just no.
Oh, you'll love it. All right, Willie, will you start?
Okay, I was thinking about some stories, and obviously it's like you start talking sexual things, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be sexual.
Something like to see here, Willie say, you know what?
I'm
gonna be sexual.
I'm going to be sexual.
He's already being sexual. I'm sitting next to
Very
him.
sexual right now.
All right, continue with your sexual story.
The youngest age I was when I saw pornography was 4 years old.
Okay. In what?
Well, I remember being a kid, and my dad had put in a VHS tape because he had stolen the movie off cable. You know, the 2 VCRs. And the whole family's around. You know, grandmother's there, my brothers and sisters, mom, dad, and in the middle of the movie we were watching, this man started having sex with this woman, like really giving it to her. And and I remember this story.
So even as a 4-year-old, you could. You had the realization, oh, he's really giving it to her.
I was
as a 4-year-old.
I thought it was like aggressive wrestling, you know. Like, that's not a headlock. But what ended up I knew this was really happening because at the end of the movie, my dad got up and he goes, "Oops, wrong tape," and he took the VHS out. So
At the end of the movie?
No, actually, in the middle of the movie, because we're in
Uh-huh.
the middle of the movie. So that was the first time I saw pornography.
Yeah. And do you feel like it has affected you in any sense in some fucked up way?
Yeah, I think it did.
Really? Just that?
He's wearing
Yeah,
a Boy Scout shirt.
God. Yeah, but if that was
He's
all,
reliving it all the time.
if that was all that happened to me, I feel like I'd be really well adjusted.
Well, it's like, people are uncomfortable when you see a condom commercial with your parents, let alone pornography with your grandmother. My grandmother's in the room, I
Did
could
you
look
never
at-
walk in on your parents having sex?
No.
What did your
All right.
grandmother say? What did your grandmother say?
She just laughed and continued drinking her vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was an alcoholic.
Wow.
Is this your earliest memory, you think? 4?
This is probably my first memory. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was 4 years old.
Damn.
Wow.
So
I found my dad's stack of Playboy magazines when I was probably around 4 or 5. Yeah. In the hallway closet.
And you're well adjusted.
yeah. See, look at us.
No, but I remember flipping through them and
Someday.
then my body being like, hey, like you know what I mean?
Like, I'm not supposed to be looking at this.
Yeah, it felt so dangerous as a 4 or 5-year-old. Yeah. I'm totally serious. I'm totally fucking serious. But
She ended
anyway.
up being a stripper, but she was a good stripper. She didn't drink or.
She ended up in that magazine she found.
Yes, that's
Yes.
true.
That's crazy.
It's true. Yeah.
It's in Playboy.
Yeah.
Fuck
And it's,
yeah.
because I grew up, my dad was in the service, so my mother was German, so he was stationed in Germany a lot, and so that they looked at nudity different. Like you could be watching TV, and you could see a breast or something on,
Yeah.
in a commercial or on TV or whatever it was, So it wasn't, like a nasty thing. It was just
Yeah.
like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Quick, put it away. Dad's coming, kind of one of those things. All right. That's your story.
That's my story.
Really? No ill effects? Do you ever think about that a lot? What made you think, is there something like that happens to you where it triggers that memory?
I can't really watch porn because of it, because I think of my family.
Because of that one incident, dude.
Yes.
You are so sensitive, man.
I'm the very sensitive person. I think we all know that. I'm wearing a Boy Scout shirt. Very sensitive.
Yeah. All right. All right. Simple but short. I think you will be a great player on this game because sometimes, as I've been known to say, the simplest story is the best story because we are a podcast, but it is a game.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's meant to be competitive. So
I just got so nervous when you finished because I was like, oh God, it's competition. It's like I got all of these like physiological symptoms of competition. So crazy. I don't get. Oh my God, I'm in. Oh
okay.
boy.
So
You're
it's your
competitive.
turn. Yeah, it's your
Oh
turn.
God. Okay. So yeah. So in New York, you learn to drive kind of late, like not in the rest of the country.
Right.
So like I'm 17 and I finally have my license, and I borrow.
Full license or the permit?
Well, it's unclear, but it was the permit. But then at a certain point, you have to like do another year of what? Yeah, that's the permit exactly.
Yeah.
So I have the permit.
Okay,
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Just fucking get to it,
One
buddy.
question and you're already stumbling. I just said, was it a permit? You're like, technically.
But continue.
I told you I'm a lightweight. She made me order a gin and tonic, so I've had 1 inch. I've had 1 inch of it, and I can't. And in any case, so I convinced my parents to let me take the car down into the city, and I got a flat tire. And I was trying to change the flat
Where
tire
in the city?
on the Upper West Side, right by the museum. In fact, on the block of the Museum of Natural History.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm trying to change a flat tire, and I don't know what the. Can I curse on here?
Yeah.
Fuck
I
yeah,
don't-
dude.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I have no technical skills at all,
Uh-huh.
and I'm completely lost. And I
Really?
see,
You don't come across that way at all.
Were you on that main?
the way I answered that permit question. You're like, wait, this guy's so together.
What time of day was that?
This was evening. Yeah.
Yeah, rush
So
hour?
No,
or-
not rush hour. This is like probably 10 p.m. after
Okay.
having. Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, I'm trying to change it.
Some
Guy
might
walks
call
by.
that night, though.
I ask. I ask a guy's walking by in like a really nice fur coat, like a very fancy fur coat. I ask him for help. He says, "I'm sorry, I have no idea. I can't help you." It was Christopher Reeve.
What?
It was Superman.
She dated a Superman.
Yeah, Superman refused or honestly didn't know any better than I did how to change it. That was New York. You were
Right.
always running celebrities.
But
So
he
I got
was-
turned down by
He was
Christopher Reeve.
walking.
He was walking, yeah. Yeah. Well,
Wow.
yeah, it was like
No, he was
80s.
wearing a fur coat and a wheelchair with a breathing apparatus, Jessica. What are you
Well,
No,
you
this
can
would have
still
been like
do that. That's fucked up if you think you can't.
Hey, fur of which animal?
I don't know. I'm going to
color
say I'm a vegan. I don't know. I have no idea what this is.
You saw Superman in a fur coat. You sure that wasn't just a bear walking down?
It could have been. Yeah. No, I think it was like that brown and white. What would that be? Fox or
Raccoon.
mink? Was that? Yeah, maybe. Anyway, Wolverine. Anyway, that's what happened. So then I had to end up calling and spending money. Then it was clear what happened. And
Right.
So
did you recognize in that moment it was him, or
I did
or
immediately.
later on you were like,
no.
Yeah.
It was a shocking moment. So it was both deflating and upsetting that someone was saying no to me, and then it was even more deflating that it was Superman.
Superman would not help you.
Yeah.
I saw
and
him.
I was a big fan.
Wait a minute, but if
Yeah.
it was a permit, how could you drive on your own?
You kind of couldn't, so I kind of I mean.
So you talked your parents into letting you drive their car with just a permit, and your parents.
They were extremely
I'm su-
permissive. This is the same parents who supported me in all the absurd career choices that I
Did they let you watch porn at 4?
They did not, and I didn't walk in. Thank God.
My parents didn't let me watch it.
Also,
They forced me.
Also, let me point this out. We lived in the Bronx, so like the drive, it's like a 8-mile drive. from us,
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, but that's a hell of an 8-mile drive though to get
To
from
New York City.
It's
Yeah,
not-
that's a
if you live
nightmare
there, it's not
drive.
that big, but it's not like LA driving. It's much
Right.
easier. Yeah. So,
Yeah. It's much easier than LA driving.
Oh yeah.
From the Bronx into the city.
Well, I grew up there, so I grew up there
Yeah.
watching my mom drive. She was like an extra. She was like the mouth of a sailor in traffic. I grew up like observing how to do it. So
Right. Okay.
And parallel parking, I learned in elementary school. That's what we learned there. so.
Okay.
In elementary school.
All right. Okay. I actually saw Christopher Reeves. I think I
Oh my
told
God.
that story once. Did I tell it here?
I don't think so.
I was back in the day. I was on the road. I think somewhere in the North Carolina or something, and I saw him like a week or two before he had the accident.
Oh
You
God.
did talk that.
Yeah, and I flew into I can't remember. Maybe it was Charlotte or just one
Charlotte or Raleigh, probably.
Yeah, it's one of those. And so I went to go have like an early dinner, so because I didn't like to eat right at the club or right before, so I would, so it was like at 4:35, and it was in this steak restaurant next to the hotel, and there was no one in there, and in comes Christopher Reeves. And I was like, holy shit.
Gorgeous, right?
Yeah, he was very
Gorgeous,
handsome man.
gorgeous.
Very
yeah.
handsome man.
Oh my God.
And then I dated Superboy.
She did.
Yeah, when there used to be this a series. It was the first series where they did like that they sold not on ABC or NBC. What is that called? Cable, but it wasn't cable. It was like
CW or something like
yeah,
that.
it was kind of like those kind of channels, and it was Superboy. And I was just thinking about him the other day. I wonder what happened to him. If he's selling shoes. He used to be like an Armani model. He was really beautiful, but I wonder whatever happened.
I wonder
to
how
him.
he aged. We should look him up.
I should look him
No,
up.
good one.
Yeah.
I met him here at the Comedy Store.
We should look him up, have him on the show, dude.
Oh yeah.
God,
Yeah,
that'd be.
I doubt he would do that.
Sometimes you meet someone in person who you think is gorgeous on screen, and you think, how is that? And then sometimes you're like, oh my God,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
That's
So
true.
he
Yeah.
was
He
he
was
had
very
that kind of
beautiful.
the
Yeah.
eyes and
Yeah.
the face.
Who's
and
the
that,
guy
and that
that-
fur coat?
That played Harvey Milk. What was the guy who was the actor that played
Oh.
Penn.
Sean Penn? I saw him in person. He does not look good.
No,
Yeah.
I saw him here.
Yeah, I was here.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, is he
Oh my-
alive?
He used to come here all the time in the 80s when he was married to Madonna, and there used to be this comic named Larry Scarano, and he would just yell the most obnoxious shit at Sean Penn about Madonna. It was so neat. Have to leave. It was so awesome. That's a great story, by the way. All right. Any thoughts from the beautiful people playing along that we appreciate so much?
Raver said, this dude's kind of creepy, and I don't know if he's referring to the soothing voice or the appearance. I don't know.
That's fucked up of me because I clearly went to him and said, it could have been Willie.
Oh, it could have been me.
me.
It could have been Willie.
Was
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're
I
not
don't
talking
mean to
about
assume.
Willie.
Hey, wait a minute.
And Marino says,
Thanks a lot.
Marino says that Ethan sounds like a guy that drove his drunk parents around a lot.
Really? You think so?
Maybe that's how he learned to drive. I don't know.
Wow.
But I did that.
Where
He
is
sounds
that
really
guy?
put together to me. My dad had all these DUIs, so I would drive him around drunk, and I was only 14.
Yeah.
I love you said all these DUIs. Like, how many did he
I
have?
had like 5, dude.
My
I'm not
God.
even kidding.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Wow.
And I would take him to his girlfriend's houses and stuff in the trailer parks and drop him off for a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we wonder why you have anger issue management problems. Anyway, all right. Any other thoughts? From...
No, that's it.
All right. How about you, Michael? Do you have any thoughts about these very small, quick stories? But hey, it's a game.
Yeah,
game.
I'm trying to figure out if I've got any memories from when I was 4. 4 sounds pretty early. Does anybody remember 4?
Yeah, I was
do remember
molested
4,
at
yeah.
3.
Wow.
So I remember that.
Hard left there from
She always has to go there.
I don't understand anyone's beef with you being creepy. I think the voice
spend
is
some time
very
with me
soothing.
after. And, you'll see it, yeah.
No, I've got a few bucks. We can hang out.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's more than enough.
Other than that, totally believable story from Ethan here. I don't
You
know.
think
Really?
it's totally believable?
That
What?
his parents would let an unlicensed driver
It's
drive
it's not a
drive the
license.
family car. You said permit.
The
I
guy
know,
ended
but
up
that's a
being
license.
He
That's
was a
not a
sharp
license.
kid. He ended up being an opera singer. How dangerous could the kid have been? You know what I mean?
Good point. I was an upstanding student.
They were like, should we let him take the car?
but
They're like,
this
I don't know. He
sounds-
likes singing in other
This sounds
languages.
like
Let him go.
Bueller's Day Off or whatever. Like you just
Ferris
like an
Bueller?
80s movie.
That was a
Yeah.
Porsche. That was not a Chrysler LeBaron.
Oh, I love a LeBaron.
Yeah. So,
I love
This is like Christmas
Yeah.
vacation.
That was a hot car back in the day.
well, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Ricardo
I'm totally
Montalban.
fucking with you. All right. So,
Oh,
all
God.
right.
No, you guys are mean. No one warned me.
No.
No one warned me. I'm very sensitive.
Hey, you took over Atlantic City. Pull your shit together.
That was
All right.
pretend.
So is this.
I'm a vegan. I'm so sensitive.
All right, let's move on to your second story. Those were quick stories.
Okay, I'm gonna keep the sexual theme going.
Of
We'll
course.
find out who's creepy
I'm going
later
to take
on.
my sweater off if you're going to keep doing that because it's
I'm
getting
gonna
warm
talk
in
like
here.
this now too.
Right.
I was 13 years old when I lost my virginity
Uh-huh.
to my step cousin.
That's fine.
Yeah.
From
we don't
Alabama, so that's
Yeah,
that
that
makes
doesn't
sense.
and I have to
count.
say step cousin,
Yeah.
not my actual
Yeah.
cousin.
I literally kissed my first kiss was with my cousin, and I slept with him later on in high school.
I just heard you do.
Yes.
I just heard you do a great joke about that on stage, and that's real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, when you know, you know. You
Wow.
know?
And
Love is love.
you know, if you always remember your first time, but I feel bad because I was the only guy she ever had sex with. She's a lesbian. So I don't
You
know.
fucked her world up.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
But
did
that
she
seems
ever?
to be
But
a
how do you
common
know
thing.
that? Did she say, "Willie, you were the only one"?
I could not be her only one,
Yeah,
maybe, but I
yeah.
assumed because she was a lesbian really, really quick.
Okay. Was it like
It was
second thrust in? She's like, "I'm a lesbian."
Insta lesbian.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Next birthday, she had braids. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing.
Braids was it?
Is that? Yeah. Is that?
It's a low bar for lesbianism in
could've-
Alabama.
It could have just been
Braids?
summer, and she was wanting to swim a lot or
No,
something.
it was not a Bo Derek moment. The movie Set It Off was hot at the time, and Queen Latifah was killing it, and she came out with her braids, and Allen Iverson was hot too. The crazy part is I
Allen
had
Iverson was
braids.
so hot, dude.
I had braids too at the same time. How'd you look at me?
Because she thinks I don't know who Allen Iverson is.
Do you?
No, fuck no. at least I know who Warren Beatty is.
Well, I don't. This is a basketball player.
Okay, I know. Yeah,
Warren Beatty.
I know she didn't know who Warren Beatty was.
So sue me. Is he hot?
He's the hottest.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
Really?
Jess,
Yeah.
I don't know who Warren Beatty is.
Yeah, that I remember. We
I got you.
Sahara.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you.
I know, right?
So you named the.
All right. So, is there
that was
more?
the big
Is there more to
flop.
that
Awesome.
story?
The weirdest thing about that is I don't know is it says about me, but my cousin becoming a lesbian after we had sex. That has happened to me 3 times with 3 other women.
But
Oh, wait.
no one related to you other than you.
No, not really. I moved outside the family.
Uh-huh.
I think it's probably because you seem safe.
I think I'm like the starter kit if you're thinking about being a lesbian.
Your starter dick.
Yeah. It's like, well,
Like, let me test out dudes, but
Yeah.
it's non-committal. So.
yeah, it's like putting your toe in the water.
Yeah.
You're like, that's too cold.
Do you think that? Do you have a like has it affected you that having sex with all these women and then they totally become?
No, it makes me feel pretty good, actually.
Totally become gay.
Yeah, it
It
makes you.
yeah, for a while on Twitter, when I had my Twitter account, I had a lot of lipstick lesbians following me.
Uh-huh.
Because I kind of have a androgynous feel to
you
me.
do.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you.
Somebody
some people
actually
might
said
think you're a
earlier.
lady.
Somebody said I didn't know you guys were gonna have RuPaul's sister on tonight. I didn't know if they were talking. I didn't know who they were talking about.
Again, that's me.
I figured.
RuPaul's sister. Oh
Because
my
Kia
God.
says that Willie looks a little
Hi,
bit like a
Kia.
microphone. So
Oh, there we go. What is this, roasting Willie time? What is that?
I thought that one would get a bigger laugh.
That's a good. I think that's a good.
sorry, Kia.
Oh, man.
All right. So
Willie,
do you guys?
are you still in a relationship at the moment?
No, I'm single right now.
You heard that, ladies.
Yeah. If you're questioning
becomes
your
a dating show in the
sexuality,
last
You're
10
that's
questioning
the
if
guy
you
to
want to
hook
be
up
a
with.
lesbian or not. Start with me.
Try it out on
You'll
this
have
guy.
an answer at the end.
So, do you and your cousin ever talk about that, or have
No, we
ever
don't talk
talked
about it, but
Uh-huh.
we're friends on Facebook, and
She never said, "Well, this thing about you that
well,
made
it's
me
weird
go
because
this
she
way."
has a
Yeah.
girlfriend now,
Uh-huh.
and I think they and her girlfriend has a kid, so they have a kid together.
Nice.
And I'm
nice.
looking at that family, going, I can't believe that I had sex with her.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of weird on that standpoint, but other than that, we're pretty cool. She kind of
Right.
looks like me too, which is weird. That's
But
the
you're not
weirdest part.
blood related.
Yeah, but we look alike, so there's some narcissism in there somewhere too.
Yeah.
Now we're just actually problem solving.
That's the first time we've ever agreed on anything.
But also, you sang the word in the same note. That was amazing.
Yep. Yeah.
Holy
What are you gonna
smokes!
do?
Yeah.
All right.
no.
All right.
By the way, you know the movie Manhattan, the Woody Allen one, because
Yeah.
so there's that same situation where his
Oh,
wife
I thought you
leaves
meant
him.
like Woody
Yeah,
Allen
what-
with his daughter. I was
No,
like,
no,
what?
no. I meant like Meryl Streep leaves him and goes with a woman.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he's going through that whole thing. So he says some, I think, funny, eloquent things about that situation.
I'm gonna have to watch Manhattan again.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. All righty then.
Oh.
So I have so then what we're saying is we have to believe that you had sex with your cousin and she became gay, and then your first story was about the porn
Mhm.
and so
Wow. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
Oh, I came to play, baby.
Okay, yeah. So what story affected you more? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is that would affect your sexuality more? I mean, because I
she's
think
good.
I think
She's
that would
good.
make me, if I had sex with 3 guys and then they were gay, I'd be like, what the fuck, man? Do I need?
Yeah, 3 of them. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
I
it's
think-
funny. You were like, how do you think that affected you seeing the porn that young? He's like, probably not at all. In the back of his head, he's like, but my next story is
Yeah.
about turning 3 women.
No, you said the porn did affect him, though.
It did affect. It did.
But he
affect
didn't
me.
say in that way. I mean, that he'd end up with his cousin, and then I don't know. It's just a little more bizarre than I think he had
I
connected
think
the dots.
porn is
before.
just kind of weird to me because of that. I mean, I watch it, of course, but it's still kind of weird to me. But the cousin thing is that she was a lesbian. That's happened to me before with 3 different women, and also my last girlfriend cheated on me with she didn't cheat him. She just made out with some girl. And I
That's
was-
not cheating.
That's not cheating, right? And
Not in L.A.
In the eyes of the Lord.
Yeah.
Not in L.A.
Nice,
No.
Austin.
there's a little part of me that says, is there something feminine about me that I should, embrace, or
Uh-huh.
maybe I should become a transsexual?
You dance really well, too.
See, that's not helping. My
But does it make you question your thing at all, or I don't know. I'm just asking questions.
no, it doesn't. But I'm a pretty open person. I've kissed a dude before.
Yeah.
It's West Hollywood, you know.
Right,
That's,
right.
that's how you come into the West Hollywood. You kiss a dude, you know. He was a hot guy too, I must say.
All
Very.
right.
I felt good. I felt like a special person.
Do you think you pull hotter men than you do women?
No.
Okay.
No.
We kissed hello. When we said hello. And, so that's kind of insulting. But
All right.
Marina says, "Damn, Willie's got a wild family." Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Reminder, he is from Alabama though, so it all
Yeah.
checks out.
All right. Well, your turn.
okay, it's me again. My palms are sweating again with competition anxiety. So, like I said, I was an opera singer, and I was once going on the subway to a rehearsal in New York, and I realized when I got out of the subway that my wallet was missing, and I saw a taxi when I got out of the subway, and I somehow zeroed in on it. I thought that's the guy who took my wallet, so I stood in front of the taxi, wouldn't let it move.
Hold on, wait. How did
And
you know
called
he
the
took
cops.
your wallet?
It was like a sixth sense kind of thing. I had a moment where I
you
got
have to
out
talk
of
to these 2 about that shit.
yeah, I don't believe in that stuff, and yet
Yeah.
I was like, I think that's the guy. So I stood in front of the
Not
cab,
the
called
driver.
not the driver, but the guy who got
in
in.
the driver.
He got in, and because so So he got in, and I called the cops. I stood in front of the cabbie said, "Get out of the way." And I said, "I'm not moving until this guy gives me back my wallet." So it was just so I was on the phone with the cops. So then the guy.
How long ago was this?
This was in 04, 05. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I might have had a cell phone then. Go ahead.
So so I'm on the phone with the cops, and then the guy. So it's like a standstill. The guy then says, "Okay." He throws my wallet on the seat and starts running. So I was like, "Oh my God, he did have my wallet." I have the cops on the phone. I grab my wallet. I start chasing the guy, and and I ended up This is the crazy part of the story. I end up later that day at the precinct, and I end up in front of the district attorney. The guy goes to jail, and then they sent me a letter thanking me for my help with the case, and on the letter was a birthday, and I thought, why are they putting my birthday on this? I'm going to get in trouble.
You got a letter from the police department
saying thank you, and the guy's birthday. I looked at the birthday. I thought, why are they putting my birthday on this thing? The guy, the criminal, is going to be able to identify me when he gets out. It was we were both born on the same day, same year in Brooklyn, New York. The guy who many years later robbed me.
Whoa.
When's your birthday?
November 25.
Wow.
Wait, same year too?
Yeah, usually same year, same day, same year.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is like a Looper thing.
It was weird, and I don't believe in stuff, but I was like, this is.
But I actually know someone.
And then Christopher Reeve.
He walked by in a fur coat.
Yeah, even though it was summer, weird. Okay.
But I actually know my friend David Bearwald, right? He's a singer-songwriter, and he met the guy. What was that movie that Elizabeth Shue was in about the alcoholic?
The Muppets Take Manhattan.
Oh yeah.
No, not
sorry.
the Muppets Take.
That
That was a good one. Good stuff.
Oh no, Leaving Las Vegas.
Oh my God,
Leaving
that's
Las
great.
Vegas. So the guy that wrote that book in Leaving Las Vegas, right? So it turned out that my friend David met that guy when he rented a loft in Venice, right, California, and he was having a birthday party, and then the guy lived across the hallway or whatever. Turns out, because he knew he was having a birthday party, that they had the same birthday on the same year. And then they start talking. He just meets this guy.
Shut up. He's going to be a twin.
No.
Yeah, I was
But
going
he
there
was,
also. Yeah.
he was born in the same little hospital in Ohio on the same day. And then many years later, they met each other like in their 30s in Venice,
Wow.
California.
Can I
Yeah.
digress with there's a joke that's exactly that setup. So these
Uh-huh.
two babies are born in the same hospital in New York. They go their separate ways. 80 years later, as old men, they end up in the intensive care. They're dying. And one of them turns to the other and says, "So what'd you think?" It's more of a tale.
that's really
It's so
sweet.
sweet and disturbing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like life. What'd you
That's
think?
so
I know.
sweet.
It's a
Yeah.
sad little joke.
It's
Anyway,
a great bit.
it's not mine, but
Yeah, maybe right
now
now.
it's a folk tale. It's a
like,
folk
not
tale.
my joke.
It's a
Yeah.
folk tale. It's his joke. That's Willie's joke.
Thank you. Finally,
Really
I
proud.
get
All
some
right.
credit here.
What are people saying online?
Jason thinks that Willie should wear skirts more often, maybe.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
Really, Jason, though?
Well,
Why not?
That's
They're
what he says. He
comfortable.
also says that it's also his mom's birthday, Ethan's birthday, and his mom share the same birthday. So
Where is this guy? Let's have a party.
he's outside. Come on in, Jason.
Come on in, we actually got it right here.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Well, those are two mighty quick stories, and from the both of you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to break for a commercial, and after we come back, Austin is going to do a recap of the stories, and then we're going to vote. When I'm home, I don't want to run errands or have to figure out a meal plan, especially because I have kids. That's why Blue Apron is a great solution. Their chef-designed recipes are easy to follow and give you a balanced, delicious meal. Blue Apron is a quick and easy way to make high-quality meals that everyone can enjoy. Use promo code LIARS to get $30 off your first order. Blue Apron, take back dinner.
Willie's first story, he was 4 years old when he first saw porn because he's with the family and they're watching a bootleg VHS, but it happened to be a porno with his grandmother, or maybe she was just in the room drinking vodka or something. And since then, he's been very sensitive and thinks about his family while he watches porno, and he's been wearing the same Boy Scout shirt ever since that. Story 2, he lost his virginity at 13 to his step cousin, and he did her so damn good, he turned out to be a lesbian.
Turned her.
Turned her out to be a
Turned
lesbian.
her.
And the weirdest thing is that happened 3 times since then, and he's still Facebook friends with his lesbian cousin to this day.
Yes.
Are
Friends
you
on
still friends
Facebook.
with any of the other girls that you turned?
One of them, yes.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
And the other one,
Maybe that's just what girls tell you to get the fuck away from you. Maybe that.
Didn't
be
you
it,
say
Yeah.
didn't you say in the video he was really giving it to her?
yeah.
Yeah, man. Maybe that influenced you in ways that you don't really know.
Oh, I always put in 110% when it comes
Right.
to sex.
Are you into bondage or anything?
No.
Are you
I'm sensitive.
are you gentle?
I'm very gentle. One time during sex, I cried. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
What happened?
Well, the reason why, because I
Stubbed his toe.
Yeah, the Dodgers won the World Series.
the Astros, those damn Astros. Well, and it's gonna get really dark and sad. But what happened was that I was having sex with this girl, and she had put her glasses on for some odd reason, and
Oh,
the moonlight
yeah.
hit her a certain way, and she looked like my friend that had passed away a few months ago. That she had killed herself. So
Oh.
she looked like my friend Anna, and I saw her in the light, and I just started crying.
Uh-huh.
And of course, you're crying. You can't.
Did
Continue.
you finish the deed?
Then the next morning, but then
Oh,
she just
okay.
held me as I cried.
Oh my
Nice.
God.
So yeah.
Did you have to tell her the story and that's why she held you?
Well, she's telling everyone the story. She's a comedian.
Oh, really?
She said I had sex with a guy that cried during sex, and I said, "Tell him about the dead friend. Tell him about the dead friend." I didn't
But
just cry.
she didn't say that
No,
part.
she
right?
doesn't
No,
say that part.
they never do.
Wow. Did that hurt your feeling that she shared the story?
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
If you ever need a hug, Willie.
You don't want to get in her clutches, though. Run away. Run away. All right. All right. We've had our fun. Continue.
That's
it.
both recaps.
can
We got to
vote.
vote.
All right.
can
All
vote.
right. All right. So what are people voting online? Anyone voting online?
Yeah, let me find it 1 sec. I think that Marino was going. Well, he voted on Ethan because he was siding with the birthday story being true. So he hasn't voted yet on.
Okay. Yeah.
our guy.
What about?
I'm sorry, that was prejudicial. I need to object. I'm sorry, go on. Sorry.
So what's your vote, Michael?
I think that on Willie's stories here,
Uh-huh.
fuck, I don't know. I mean, but it's the same. It's the same thing with Ethan's stories too. It's basically like there's something that totally could have happened that's not that ridiculous,
Mm-hmm.
and then something kind of extraordinary, like the fact that
That's
it's happened
pretty
to 3
fucking
women,
ridiculous,
and then
yeah.
the fact that it was the same guy, same birthday, all that shit. So it's like, do we want to believe in these wild, fateful stories? It seems like an easy tactic, but I don't know.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
So-
For Willie's, I guess. I'd just be surprised if he'd come up with something that strange and creative.
what
The
if-
first one being his cousin. That just all seems true, that second shit.
What if the lie of the first one is just that he doesn't remember it, that all that did happen, but that somebody else was retelling of he was there for because he was so young? Because I don't think you could remember back to 4 years old, really.
No,
No,
you
you
can
really
remember
can.
the 4.
Yeah,
I remember the
seriously.
3.
I remember 4. I remember
Seeing
like
a porno tape though, you'd remember
being a
so-and-so
baby. I have
and not
memories
knowing
of
what
being
it
a
is.
baby.
I'm not trying to, but yes. When I was 3, I was molested. I
But
remember
that's
it.
like a direct thing.
Okay.
He wasn't like
All right.
they didn't
All
call
right,
her
Everyone
Orange
just
no
fucking
one's
relax.
challenging your memory.
Okay.
A lot
Jesus
of dirty laundry.
Christ.
we are
I don't want
airing
the
it out.
podcast to veer in
I'm
this
saying-
direction.
Whoa.
But if something hits you like that, you remember it.
Well, but I think
And-
it's a little bit different between getting molested and then
Yeah.
seeing a couple
A
minutes
porno?
of porno.
because they're not like Clockwork Orange and his eyeballs open
Yeah.
to watch the thing.
No,
don't
but
know.
he's not going to
Well,
shut him.
that's- I don't know.
Yeah. So what are you voting?
I don't know, because you know what, the porn thing. I'm sure it may be that it did happen.
Yeah.
The lesbian thing. I almost think that Willie thinks we would definitely believe that.
Yeah.
This poor guy, dude. what a sport. He's been a great sport.
So yeah, I'm kind of. I'm kind of going with the porn being true.
Yeah, because don't you normally say when it's a humble brag that's usually true, and so
Yeah, and he is saying he smashed all these girls.
right. But I don't feel that's a humble brag because then it's also like they became.
But Willie seems
lesbians.
like a different kind of guy. He also
Right.
just
Yeah,
came
if-
clean about crying during sex. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like Willie
Are
and
you
I,
really from Alabama?
I am. Yes.
Okay, that doesn't
must be
match.
Tuscaloosa.
Jesus.
Just what? So do you think if you're going with the first one being a lot, or wait,
true.
True. So what do you think is untrue about the second? You think the whole second thing is just totally untrue, or do you think it's like not 3 girls?
I think that I'm sure there are some women that Willie have slept with that have went lesbian.
Like you're sure of that?
I am just getting
regardless of
lambasted.
the lie.
Can we go back to the roast jokes?
It's not a negative.
Yeah,
It's
hey,
not
Willie,
a negative.
Willie, regardless of if your second story's a lie, that's happened to you.
Yeah.
No doubt. She knows that.
Are they like millennial art chicks, these kind of girls?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that explains a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It really
Well, that was
does.
kind of leading the witness.
Okay. I don't hear you asking any in-depth questions, Austin.
Well, I just don't think that he could possibly remember something so vague at 4 years old.
Oh, I think.
Oh, no, you can remember
yeah.
that shit,
I can
dude.
remember that. I remember once when we lived in Stockton, California, it got really hot and my rabbit died, and I was like 3.
Got really hot in
Yeah.
my rabbit died.
I think you
Yeah,
can remember
there you
a lot
go.
of stuff. Yeah.
That's traumatic. But that
Yeah.
doesn't. He wouldn't know that it's traumatic at 4 years old. What he was saying.
Yeah, you do. You feel it.
It's because it's yeah, it tingles down there. You know what's up. You're like, I don't know what's going on down on my bottom. Did you
Yeah.
feel that way, by the way?
I don't remember how I felt. I just remember what I saw.
When was the next time you saw porn?
Oh, I mean, probably 12. Yeah. I think it
How
was
old are
about
you
12.
now?
I'm 13.
So, will you walk us through the porn a little bit, like what you remember of it?
I remember my grandmother sitting there on the sofa. I was on the floor. I have 2 younger brothers at the time, so I had a younger brother, younger sister. Mom and dad. It was like a Sunday night because it was the weekend. I just remember a lot of hair on the bodies.
You remember that it was the weekend?
Yeah, because it was like family night. We always watched like a family movie on a
Okay,
Sunday. Yeah, that's
checks
why I remember
out.
that. But I remember the porno was like, because I guess it was 1990 when this happened. I was 4. So it was like a 70s porn. So everyone was like hairy. And it was a white couple. I remember
Some of
that.
us still are.
Nice. Oh, I love a big reveal from Jess. That is good. Look at Felicia.
I just
This
don't
is
even.
great.
I just don't even want to imagine that. So, let me ask you. No offense.
Dirtweed thinks the lesbian story is wrong because he for sure converted more than 3 girls. So there's somebody that's on your side.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know that that's a bad thing. I
They're
think
getting
it's
better out there now.
I think it's because Willie is a good guy, and women see that, like, you know what? I bet I could trust myself with this guy. You know, like, that's a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of heart.
Yeah.
Let me ask you
strong
this:
character.
so, where was all the hair? That if you have such a memory of the hair,
Hairy chest. The woman had bush down there, and the man had like you couldn't even really. I don't remember seeing a penis, but I saw a lot of pubic hair. That's about it. Long hair too, mustache. You know. That's what I said. It was a lot of hair. I was like, what?
That is a lot of hair.
What is this?
Okay.
Payas.
Doggy
Okay,
style,
that's-
definitely. It was doggy
It
style.
was doggy style. How can you see her vagina if it's doggy style?
Oh, because that camera
Yeah.
angle.
Yeah. What was the camera angle?
Oh, wow.
She was bent over.
Yeah.
So how did you see the vagina hair?
But-
Technical question.
Oh, that's a
Nice.
good
Well,
technical.
this
yeah,
is-
I know.
No,
Get
this
on
is
my
sharp
good
stuff.
technical.
Sharp stuff, yeah.
Now
I didn't think about
I'm gonna
that.
feel embarrassed. What does the vagina look like again?
Wait, but also, can I, in my client's defense, I would just like to say that a porn it doesn't take 2 seconds. There's a scene like you see, like things happen, so they're not
Yeah,
in
he
the
probably
same
had to
position the whole
stumble.
time. Like she could be
But it
standing
was-
up.
Why-
and-
such a- it
but
was
but
such
this
a
is
start.
his question, not your question.
I'm just
okay.
No, it was
I'm
such
kidding.
a.
No, I just mean like that's a good defense.
Right.
But
Well, the reason why it was so jarring was because I don't remember the movie we were watching, but it was something to the extent of maybe like Coming to America. It was a black movie, so when you saw,
How much of this did you watch?
well, we're about halfway
So,
through Coming to America.
It was black people in the porn? Both?
No.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So imagine watching Eddie Murphy play different characters, and then the screen kind of scribbles, and some guys plowing a girl.
Well, what about the naked girls in Coming to America? They didn't care about that.
Well,
So
they wasn't
you're
having
trying
sex.
to tell us
Oh,
that
so
your
you're-
dad was into white porn?
My dad was into porn. So it
Yeah.
didn't matter, and
Just kind of take what you could get at that
you
time.
and you dub you dub the tape like you tape over things,
Right.
and that's what he had done.
Okay. Oh, because you didn't say that in the beginning.
It
You
went
didn't-
from
He
coming
didn't
to
do that.
America
Okay.
to coming in America.
All right, we're taking a vote. Michael.
A lot of pressure. I didn't know you were coming straight to me. I vote that the first one's a lie. I think that second shit is just wild enough to be true.
Okay. What about
Plus,
you,
I think
Austin?
you guys are all saying second one lie, so I don't want to be the other guy.
What do you say, Austin?
Yeah, I think I got to go with the first story being a lie.
So you're saying porn lie?
Porn's a lie, yeah.
Okay.
And
All right.
and you're saying that
I'm saying the lesbians are a lie.
you know what? I actually might believe you and be on your camp. I know it's very rare.
Wait, but if the second
Yeah.
story
What
is
is
true
happening
and the
today?
first one's
Yeah.
not true, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be like, "Where's that influence from?" Then you didn't even see that porn when you were 4. You just ended up.
I think
kinda wild
Willie's a lot
sexually.
freakier than we think too.
Yeah.
I think he's putting on.
Yeah,
I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's putting on a little act here. He knew what he was doing today.
So we're
wearing that
saying the
shirt.
first story is true.
Marino and Lofgren are with you guys. They both think the first story's true.
And what
Fuck
about
yeah.
you?
Oh, I was wondering if I get to
Yeah,
this.
you
Yeah, you
absolutely,
better.
absolutely.
I'm going to say that the lesbian thing is the made-up one.
Oh, so you're
He's
with us, and you're
us.
saying,
That the lesbian story is true.
and
Yeah, me
Michael's
too.
saying,
Okay.
that-
Right.
okay,
Lesbian story too,
it's,
true.
it's us
Oh,
against you.
it's sort of split. Is it
It's pretty
split?
split.
Yeah.
It's
All
our
right.
producers against us.
It's like Congress.
As always.
Which
Yeah.
story is the lie?
The lie is the second story.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm like, obviously it is.
It's-
But it
it's
doesn't
some-
seem like a tactic.
It seems it is a lot of truth to that story, but
Okay.
the biggest lie is that I did not have sex with my cousin. She was my first kiss, but I did not have sex with her.
Okay.
I lost my
Thank
virginity at
you.
19, but I'm a freak now, so ladies, hit me out.
I knew Willie was a freak. I knew it.
Well, when you see porn at 4, I mean, I know what's up.
Wound you up.
all right. Fair enough. Let's go and do Ethan.
Can I just make
Yes.
a quick
Yeah.
quick interjection for empathy? This is what I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking. There are no stakes here about finding out whether someone has seen through our lies or not,
Why
and
so?
yet it causes great nervousness. Now think of all the
Yes.
people who actually have to submit to a lie detector test under like suddenly
Oh,
penalty of something serious in their life, like holy
Or on Maury.
crap, or
Yeah.
on Maury.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
I mean, holy crap! I mean, I'm sitting here with there's 0 stakes. I'm like, oh my god, what if
Yeah.
they find? What the fuck?
yeah.
Okay, what the
That's
I
really
believe that.
yeah.
Yeah, totally
So-
true.
Now you know why people just
Holy-
confess to shit that they didn't do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's
Yeah.
so there's a weird like primal thing of I don't want someone to accuse me or find out that I was lying. It's so deep.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
All right. Recap.
Ethan's first story, in New York, he had his very unclear driving permit, and he convinces his parents to let him drive into the city, but he gets a flat tire, so he tries to change it, and this nice man in a fur coat walks by, but he has no idea how to help and can't do anything for him, because it was Superman, Christopher Reeve, so he moved along, and Ethan was deflated. Story 2, he was once an opera singer and riding the subway and realized his wallet was missing, but then he exited and spider-sensed his way over to a cab where the alleged thief was about to take off. Ethan blocks the cab, and the guy tosses the wallet, so Ethan grabs it, hunts down the guy like a ravenous wolf, and then the police department thanked him, and he didn't understand it like the humble hero that he is, but instead they turned out that the criminal had the same birthday as him, so it was a nice little bow on the story.
Humble hero.
Humble hero.
Humble hero.
So humble brag.
Humble brag.
Wait, is
too.
humble
Yeah.
brag a
It's kind of an unspoken
a tell
rule.
for
Yeah,
like
it seems
Yeah.
if there's like a
a
little
fake up?
brag, it seems
Yeah.
to be true.
Yeah.
Usually it's true.
Not in the case of Willie,
Yeah.
though.
Like if because if
Oh, no,
Willie
no,
would
but
have
that
been
would've
like,
been if
I
he turned
plowed
them
all
straight.
these women
Yeah,
and
he
they
turned them
love
straight.
they love
Yeah,
me and
yeah.
they won't leave me
That
alone.
would be more.
Yeah.
More of a brag.
Yeah.
Oy vey, this is it's not easy. This is a hard game. I'm terrible at games. Did I mention that when you booked me?
All right. So, what do you think?
You know what? I'm leaning towards Christopher Reeves being true.
That is such a random thing to pull out of your ass, you know?
Yeah, and also I don't think this guy knows how to change a tire.
Yeah, but that means that you think that what year was this?
86.
86. So New York fucking sucked.
Not true, but I forgive you for saying
That looked
that.
like you really just pulled that out of your ass, though. When you
I
said
was gonna
80,
say the same thing.
86.
Yeah.
I got places to be. 80, where? I don't care.
But
It doesn't matter.
that could be because the word 86 is a verb, like, oh, I 86 that thing. So maybe it just sounded like
Could
that.
be,
But that
subconsciously.
could.
That's a good
Still very
But that is
86.
clever. Yeah, say a number. Fill in a number. Pick it. Add Mad Libs number.
Yeah, like when you're being sarcastic, you haven't seen something in a while. Like, I haven't seen that since '86. That's how you said it.
So how old were you at the time?
17 or 18. It was near the end of high school. Yeah.
That shit's true. He's trying to play you, dude.
Oh,
No,
look
no,
at
no,
that.
no. It
Look,
did look
he
like
just
he's trying to
lied.
play.
Yeah, that was
No,
just
no,
like
no.
a
Playing.
liar's move right there,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
No. I just know.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you exactly how. If it was springtime, I would have been 17. In the
Yeah.
winter, I'd be 18. So 17. Permit.
I just can't believe that someone would be walking around. What time in the spring? What was it?
What time
like,
of day or what time?
No, was it April, May?
It was like late March, early April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what time of day was it again?
It was like 9, 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Because I'm like, if it was March.
Okay, I did it. I admit it. Just take me away. I can't take it.
Because if it's March,
I'll
then
sign the confession.
I could kind of maybe see.
Have you heard of global warming? It used to be very cold in New York back in the day.
I
The
could
Hudson
see a
River
fur
used to
coat.
freeze.
Yeah, maybe
You could walk
in
to New Jersey.
86. Yeah.
None of these
March
references
is
mean
cold.
anything.
Yeah.
In
March
New York, they're
windy.
hilarious.
It is
But-
cold though.
Wasn't that around the time they were all like? I know this is before Willie was born and Austin was born and Michael was born and probably even before
No,
you were
84,
born.
baby.
Okay, so I just feel like back in that time, like people were really against other people wearing fur coats.
Not at that time.
I'm sorry. I also
How do
saw
you know 2-year-old? How do you know?
80s? I know. Look, I know 80s movies. All right, and furs
Okay.
were okay.
I also saw Gregory Hines, the actor dancer, walking
Uh-huh.
once in front of Macy's. Fur coat. Thank
Yeah,
you. No,
furs-
not a fur coat.
Furs in the 80s
I
were
feel like
totally
furs
fine.
were. Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of people wearing fur coats.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole
It wasn't
anti-fur
till the
thing.
90s.
Again, I was born in '86. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking
It
about.
wasn't until the 90s, though.
Also, I like this shirt is fur. I don't give a shit at this point.
Uh-huh.
It's I don't know what I'm saying.
You're a
All right.
vegan.
You know what was weird about that second story is he started it out by saying that he was once an opera singer, and
Uh-huh.
it really didn't have anything to do with the story.
That's a good
at
point,
all.
man.
Oh.
No, I was on my way to rehearsal when that whole thing happened.
Oh, you didn't say that though.
Oh, he did
Did
say
you
that.
scream
Yeah.
when you?
I
saw
definitely
him
wrote that. I mean, said that. What are you talking about?
when you saw the pickpocket in the cab.
Yeah, I did the whole like, hey, stop,
Uh-huh.
thief.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I just, yeah.
So did you when you ran out there, right? So
Help
he
me, Willie.
he pickpockets you in the subway, right?
Yes.
And but you didn't. At what point did you realize you were pickpocketed?
It was when I got out and I looked
Out of the
and I saw.
train.
I got out of the train. You step up.
Uh-huh.
It was the N train by
Uh-huh.
the Carnegie Deli, and you get out, and suddenly I saw that that little zipper on one of those shoulder bags was open, and that's when I looked and I saw.
See, that's the thing. I'd be. What year was this?
This would have been 2005-ish.
Okay.
2004.
Shoulder bags for men were in.
2004.
Continue.
I like your detail. You're very into the props. Cell phone. What?
And you said what year? 1980. What?
No.
Six was
19.
the.
No, 2004.
2004.
I'm gonna go with I don't know 2004. I'm gonna just
Okay.
round it.
What kind
L
of phone?
four.
What kind of phone did you have?
It was probably it would have been the no, it would have been a BlackBerry already. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I went from the Motorola to the BlackBerry to the Samsung. I'm still with the Samsung.
Uh-huh.
This show is brought to you by Samsung.
I think I had a Nokia phone at that time.
Oh yeah,
I think I did too.
I had something before, even before. I'm trying to distract you from the questions, but I once. My sister had a Mickey Mouse phone.
Uh-huh.
That was
Oh, my
so
grandma
cute.
had that.
Yeah, that was so cute.
I had a
That
sidekick.
is
I
so
thought I was
Florida.
the shit, dude.
I was the Nextel guy. Yeah.
All right, we're taking a vote. What are people online saying?
By the way, remember to vote. Register and vote.
There are several people that think
Democracy.
both stories are a lie.
I know.
And,
Yeah.
They also really want to hear him sing opera. If he's an opera
Yeah,
singer,
can you sing opera?
I can sing
Come on.
something.
I mean,
Yeah,
just a
do it.
little.
Is this the moment?
Yeah, just as a moment.
But that person has to request what opera. That's the thing.
He said, so I'm on our Instagram live now. So
Oh, easy unter Siri schenket. That's a little bit of the magic flute from Mozart.
I felt that. The vibration right there. I felt that.
That's my hand under the table.
That was sick.
We're all
I
ready
told
to
you
fuck
guys I'm
now.
a freak.
By the way, I kind of retired from the singing about 5 years ago. I'm doing the acting and the comedy, but that's a role I got to sing a lot. That's the Magic Flute by Mozart. Go see Mozart.
The magic what?
The Magic Flute. The Magic Flute.
Oh.
Mozart.
Yeah.
The Magic Flute.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
God damn it.
All right. We're taking a vote, Michael.
I feel like I've been busted. That's what the whole experience. I feel like.
What do you think, Michael?
I think that I don't know. They seem like two total ends of the spectrum for which we should classically believe is a lie and which is the truth. There's like a reasonable story and then a wild hero story.
See, this is the opposite though. Like Willie doesn't. He looks like he couldn't hurt anybody, but he's a freak, right?
Right.
Now we have
And now this guy looks.
Now we have Ethan,
Yeah.
who looks like he could maybe beat somebody up and big and tall, but he can't change a tire.
Yeah, that's just on
Right.
TV.
Yeah.
Only on TV.
He had a wallet stolen from his
He's
purse on his way to
sensitive.
opera.
Right.
You're asking what year it is. I'm like, male opera singers have always carried a purse. That's every year.
Timeless.
I don't know which story I believe still. I'm going second lie.
So is Jason and Kenny online. They're both going second lie.
Here we go, K-Dog.
Let's see.
God,
Jason
it's
says
so hard.
Jason thinks it's somebody else's story.
The second story?
Yeah, the lie. The
Yeah.
second story is the lie.
I feel, even though I do question that parents would let a 17-year-old kid without a license drive a car into New York when New York was still like on the edge a lot in that time period, I just can't imagine that they allowed that to happen.
But listen to that voice. Even at 17, he was like, Dad, please. Go on.
What did your dad do for a living?
Psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Really?
Psychoanalyst, like a Freudian psychoanalyst. And my mom worked in the schmata business, which is like
What
clothing.
is a schmata? Oh.
Schmata is rag in Yiddish, but it's how they refer to if you worked in the garment business,
Yeah.
like shirts, men's and boys'
Yeah.
shirts, jeans. You need a new dress. That's a schmata business. The schmata
Yeah.
business.
86.
Anyway, by the way, 86. 86.
So, but that being said, during that time period, also people didn't helicopter their kids as much too. So there's that side of it. You know what I mean?
Latchkey kids.
Yeah, but I just
What was the driving age then?
well, it didn't matter. He didn't have a license.
We said he had a permit. He was like 17.
It was
Yeah, but he
17 in
didn't
New
have
York.
a
Other
license.
towns, it was, but it's like a. Why am I?
I think the
know.
first story is a lie.
But in New York, if you have a permit, are you allowed to drive without a parent in the car? Are you
Not-
allowed to take it to the city from the Bronx?
No, you're not. All those things technically you're not, but once you have the permit as a kid, you can sometimes feel emboldened to do certain
Yeah, but
things.
you said that you had permission from your parents.
Well, I'm not going to steal a car from them. I'm just saying you were asking along the lines of whether it was
That's
normal
what
to
I
be
did.
done, and I'm saying like
What
most.
do you think, Jessica? What do you think about
I
this?
said, I just stole the car
Okay,
But-
that's
for my mom. My dad did let me drive at 14. But, yeah, I feel like I know that he's an actor, too. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay? Keep that in mind.
but a terrible poker player. If you want to win money, let's play poker.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. If you believe that.
Wow.
Saucy.
Somebody online said, Jessica, I am sorry for everybody and everything. Whatever somebody did to you.
I just think that the first one about the tire is true. I just
You
seems.
really think so?
I do.
And how did the
I'm
car?
getting so nervous again. The nerves
how-
went away, and now that's
how-
right.
Coming back.
Holy!
How did the car eventually get fixed?
I had to make a call. I had to get a guy, like one of those AA, not AA, that's alcohol. 3 A's, that's the car thing.
Triple A.
And I
That was
I
so
had to-
New York. He's
I
like,
just shell
I
out.
had a guy. I got
And
a
who
guy.
did you
Yeah,
call
Shell
first when you were in that situation?
I had to call my parents. That's why the
Uh-huh.
whole the
So you had to
jig
fess
was
up.
up. Or I had to
Yeah.
fess up, and I didn't have money, so they had to pay. They had to make it all happen. Yeah. They bailed me out. Thank you, Mom and Dad. You're wonderful.
I think that first story is a complete and utter fucking lie.
I do too.
I'm starting to think so, too.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
first story is a lie also.
Yeah, you're right.
Only because of that damn fur coat. I can't stop thinking about that,
that
fur coat.
Christopher Reeve in a fur coat.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought he
Look
said,
it up. It's in the movie. Even he's even wearing it in Superman.
I just thought he started off by saying he was 14 or 15 in that story, and now he's 17.
No, he didn't. He said 17 from the beginning.
No, that's why in the South or in Texas where kids can
Yeah.
drive at
Drive
14.
at 14.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
but to go from the Bronx into the city,
The
and
Bronx
your
is
parents,
it's part of. Anyway, again, why am I defending? Like I said,
at
play poker with me
nighttime,
if you're.
it was cold enough where Christopher Reeves was wearing a fur coat.
Did they have AAA in '86?
Yeah.
Or do
they
you mean you
did,
were like,
yeah.
hey, hey, hey?
Hey.
Oh, you're really.
That's
getting
really good.
I know.
Michael.
Michael's on it.
Thank
Michael's
you.
on it.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Holy
Appreciate that.
smokes.
So did you pick your lie already? Which story you think is true, or?
Oh, I think that the second one's true and the first one is a lie.
He thinks the
I flip
car is a lie then.
This is like 12 Angry Men, where
Yeah, I think-
Peter Fonda
Yeah.
convinces the whole room.
And to
Me
be
too.
true, to be
Car's
honest with
a
you,
lie.
I don't know what I really
Cars.
think.
The car is a
I
lie. You
just-
think the first story is the lie?
Yeah, definitely.
The first story is a
I
lie.
feel that way, yeah.
And all right.
86.
Hey, it's
86.
Meshuggah.
All right. Which story?
The second one is a lie, you guys.
The second.
Sorry.
Now you're changing it.
No, that's been mine the whole way.
Oh, you think the second one is a lie?
Yeah, I don't think that he's a hero.
You thought you had confidence coming
Everyone
in.
just looked away from you, Jessica, like, damn.
Hurting people hurt people.
Wild. Jess is wild. All right, now I want to know. I gotta know. I don't really know how I feel.
Willie, what was yours again?
I think the first one's a lie.
Okay. Everybody's against me.
That is such a random thing, though. Christopher Reeves in a fur coat.
I
is
just
so
can't stop
fucking-
thinking about it.
It's so fucking random, though.
Fur was
Well,
in,
let me
dude.
just say this. Even if that is a lie and I end up getting caught and I lose this game along with Willie, the fact that the idea of Christopher Reeve in a fur coat, it will now live in people's consciousness.
Somebody
That's-
online thinks they saw a picture of Christopher Reeves in a fur coat. And
Get
it
outta
should
here.
all just be this. And guess who it is? Jason Marino. It's your guy.
Man,
I mean, you guys are simpatico today.
simpatico.
So, at what time did it happen when you got pickpocketed? I'm sorry if I asked.
on the
that
way
before.
to like a 10 a.m. Rehearsal, so it would have been like getting out of the train there at like 9:30, 9:45 a.m.
It's just
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
that time to come out, by Carnegie Deli. And
She's
to
scaring
just
the shit out of
run-
me.
run out of the subway and to grab a cab. I mean, that's like a
And you just know that was the guy that robbed you? Like, what did you just like?
It was just like a prickly. It was like I felt like a kind of. It's almost like a. You know that what do they
Did
call
you
that?
stereotype the guy?
Not at all.
Goosebumps.
No.
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Thank you. Thank you. No, it was. It was not a. It was not a. It was not stereotyping. It was just he yeah.
all right. I'm gonna.
He was African American, the guy, but I was not
That's
stereotyping.
what we wanted to hear.
I know what she was asking.
That's why I believe that second story.
no.
No, because that African American wouldn't throw the wallet back. He would just be like, "Fool, I didn't take your wallet," and move on.
He didn't
I'm
take
just-
in the whole purse.
Yeah, and to get a cab ride.
It
to
was
New York
not a
City?
purse. It was a shoulder bag.
Satchel. It was a satchel.
It was a. It was a. It was a. It was a.
Was
What are
he
those things
really
called? It was a
African-
handbag.
Was he really African American?
I mean, I didn't get to know the guy, but I
But-
feel like he.
Was he? Was he like white or black or the guy that stole?
Was he like on a color scale? Like
He was like somewhere between us, I think.
Like a Tiger Woods.
I
Like a
mean,
Tiger
that-
Woods.
Well, that's very light.
Yeah, that's like Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just I remember that when they sent me the letter with the birthday and all
Uh-huh.
that, where
It said
where,
black?
where they were like, "Thank you." No, yeah, it said like
It said.
Yeah.
It said.
Fuck you. This story's a lie.
He thought
This
he was
story's a
black.
lie.
When
All
they
right.
sent him the thing,
Second
it said-
story's a lie. First story's
No.
true, even though it's fucked up of your parents.
Thank you for
That's my
coming on
vote.
board with me
Okay,
there,
all right,
Felicia.
All right.
what
What? So let me ask you this:
It's when they sent it. It said birthday. That's how he knew.
Which
That's look at this guy.
Sorry.
Holy shit!
which story is the lie?
Oh god. Wait.
Yeah.
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 The lie is the Christopher Reeve. But I'm so excited that with my last little fake racial profiling detail, I got you. I got it. Oh my god, that was exciting. Just because of that last fake thing about the
It did make it
complexion.
real, yeah.
The complexion made me seem like a fucking liar. That was amazing.
Wow, that was great.
And I'm terrible at games. Oh, and Jason, that kind of line, he had me dead to rights. So,
Yeah.
I'm
68.
so sorry that I let
86.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, Felicia, that I led you down this path.
You
Fist bump.
listen, I'm not
This-
fist bumping you, motherfucker.
That's the last time we have an opera singer on this show.
Yeah.
Oh, no
Jesus
fist bump.
Christ.
How about a hug? Is a hug?
No, we'll do hugs later.
Okay, hugs
No,
later.
we'll fist bump later.
Okay, cool.
Damn. Well, you guys have been awesome guests. Thank you so much for
Thank you. You're
spending
amazing.
time and doing the podcast. We certainly appreciate it. And is there anything you guys want to share, like social media or anything you have coming up you would like people to know about? I know you have your comedy CD.
Yeah, I want to say
Or
my
album?
comedy album, which came out from 800 Pound Gorilla Records. It's called Thug Thug Jew. That's the album cover, and it went to #1 on iTunes for a few days last week. So I'm trying to shove it back up there, which is why I'm submitting to this kind of torture in public just to promote the thing. No, Thug Thug Jew on iTunes or Pandora or wherever. Thank you.
And why did you pick that name for your album?
Oh, because I'm an actor, and some of my comedy is about the roles I play, and the roles are either thug, or Jew. So Thug Thug Jew.
Okay.
And then
All
it's a
right.
reference to Duck Duck Goose if you listen to the album. So Thug
Okay.
Thug Jew. yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And how about you?
I will be in Houston, Texas at the end of the month. I'm doing Skank Fest. I think that's the first
Oh,
one they're
fun,
doing.
fun,
and
fun.
So I'm very excited to be part of that. Hopefully I'll see you guys
Apparently, I
there.
wasn't skanky enough for that.
Hard to believe.
Hold on.
They just don't know you,
Hey,
that's all.
Yeah, when they see the resume for next year's submissions, they're gonna
I'm in,
they'll
dude.
change their minds. Yeah.
Harry.
All right. And then Austin, what do you want? Oh no, let's go to Michael. Michael, what is your social media or anything you would like to plug?
High Five Michael on Instagram, and I'm also doing the Gateway Show at the Hollywood Improv on April 1st.
Oh,
Check it
that's
out.
such a great show.
Yeah, follow me on
With Billy
Instagram.
Anderson. We love that show.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. And what about you, Austin?
I'm at the Austin Walker on everything. Follow me there. Follow us at Liars_Club on Twitter and the Liars Club 1 on Instagram. We are at the Ice House this coming Friday,
Yes.
which is March
13th.
13th.
Who's on that show?
Oh, so many people are on that show.
So
gonna
many
be a
good
good one.
people, dude.
Yeah, it's a really good show.
So
name one.
see y'all there. Michael
We're on
Evans
it.
is going to be
Michael
there.
Evans is
I'm on the
it.
show.
Jessica Wellington's on it.
Right.
I'm on
Michael's
it.
been killing it today,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Ethan Herschenberger might show up. You never know. Just
Well,
Herschenfeld.
Herschenfeld.
But you know
Sorry.
what? The first time I got a review in the New York Times for singing, the New York Times called me Herschenberger. And if there's not, and if a paper, if the New York Times can't get a Jewish name right, then forget it.
I might have
mean,
tagged
it's all-
Herschenberger on Twitter.
That's
I
cool.
gotta check.
Herschenfeld.
We have
That's
we
cool.
have Jeff Dye on
Yeah,
that show.
it's a really great show.
Jeff
See, I knew
Dye.
there was some
She's
names
pulling
on
up the
this.
lineup.
I knew there were people.
Yeah, we got and Isaac Allen, David Smalley, Danielle Perez, Seth J. We got
It's
shit
going to
ton
be
of
a
people, dude.
really good show, and it's such a fun place to do our show at. And you can follow me all across the board at Felicia Michaels. Once again, our sponsor is Blue Apron. If you want to give it a try, that would be great. And you can go to Amazon if you have Amazon Prime, and you can see my comedy special on Amazon Prime for free, or you can see the documentary I made with Felipe Esparza, Joey Diaz, Lori Kilmartin. A bunch of people are in that. It's called Pervs, and then the comedy special is called The Whole Story. If you guys could do that, that would be great. And we're going to be in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, come check me and Felicia at Birmingham the 26th and 27th, and then we're going or 25th and 26th. I'm sorry, and then we're going to be in Greensboro, North Carolina.
For the
that
North
weekend
Carolina
after.
Comedy Festival. And then
Yes.
Jessica is actually opening up for Russell
Russell
Peters.
Wow,
in
nice.
the at the Comedy Zone in Charlotte the week before.
Nice.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that date in Charlotte? I have family there.
The 19th through 21st.
Nice.
Yeah.
Charlotte. Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be
And
fun.
anything else you would like to add?
Follow me at Jess Wellington 2, and you have been lied to.
I'm not telling that
Will the real liar please stand up?
She's totally serious.
And you have been lied to.